Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We're here for the Super Rugby Pacific semi-finals. This game, it is a massive one. It's Chiefs versus Crusaders. They have had quite the storied rivalry over the last 10 years or so. They've met in finals, they've met in semi-finals, and most, if not all the times, it's been the Crusaders who have got that job done. But the Chiefs come in as favourites. They are at FMG Stadium as well. They've got Damian McKenzie playing in a milestone match. So this could be a very intriguing 80 minutes of rugby taking place very shortly. But looking through at the starting lineups, first of all, for the Chiefs, it is Ollie Norris, Samisoni Taukiaho, and Sione Ahio as the front row. Josh Lord and Tupavai make up the locking duo. It's been a strong one for the Chiefs throughout this Super Rugby season. Samapeni Finau moves to 6. Luke Jacobson stays at 7 and also is captain, with Simon Parker moving from his 6th jersey last week to number 8. That is due to that injury that we did see of Wallace Satiti. Cortez Ratama and Damian McKenzie will make the 9 and 10 combination. McKenzie here for his 150th game. They showed some interesting stats, which was he's had 99 wins throughout his Super Rugby career, and he's also had 49 victories at FMG Stadium. So this could be his 150th, his 100th victory, and also his 50th victory at home, if it does all go well. If not, it will only be the one tick, and then it's the 150 for Damian McKenzie. Kieran Tome Falau out on the left wing. Quintupai and Lalakai Faketi make up the centre pairing. Liam Coons Fabling out on the right, and Isaac Hutchinson. He's a player who, at the start of the season, I don't think anyone was really picking him in their Chiefs side, but now by the end of it, he's been in some pretty insane form for this Chiefs team. Looking through at the Crusaders, Finley Brewers, Cody Taylor, Fletcher Null. He returns at a very, very handy time for this Crusaders fullback, definitely after the injuries that they have been suffering throughout the last few weeks. Antonio Shalfoon and Jamie Hanna as the locks, with Ethan Blackadder. Lester Whananuku has found his new home in that number 7 jersey for the second half of the season, with Christian Leo Willie then closing out the fullback. He is there as the number 8. Noah Hotham and Taha Kimura as the 9 and 10 combination. Sever Reese, a lot of experience under that man's belt. He is out on the left wing. David Harville, who's been in probably some of his better form in the last 5 years, coming into this final, or the semi-final here, with Braden Enor as his outside centre. Jay Fiaki and another very informed player in Johnny McNichol as the Crusaders number 15. But we've got a lot of messages already going on at the moment. What time's kickoff? Kickoff will be at 7:05. So we've got about, I believe it's 17 minutes till the kickoff of this contest. It is going to be at the same time as we see the game kick off tomorrow night between the Hurricanes and the Blues. That is also going to be a New Zealand derby. And we have there, hi mate, looking forward to this, says Wade. And also boo Damian McKenzie, says Angel. And also we have there tonight, I'm a Chief, says Shane. And I should also mention there are quite a few implications in regards to this match. The Crusaders can technically host the final. That is, if they win this game and the Blues beat the Hurricanes. The Chiefs can also host the final, and that is if the Blues beat the Hurricanes. So both of these sides, win or lose, of course you want to win first off, but you then also want the underdog Blues to get the job done in Wellington, as it would either be an FMG or a One New Zealand Stadium final for the winner of this contest. So in a way, for these two sides, they've got that little bit of extra motivation. Of course, going head-to-head, they're doing Catch the Colonel before the game. That's different. I don't think they've done that in a little while. They must have something planned, maybe a halftime show of some sort at FMG. We have got there, that's an awesome Chiefs fullback, says Anahira. Yeah, their starting 15s for both of these sides are absolutely stacked. They've got some very handy players making their way off the bench. I think one of the more particular battles I'm looking forward to is Kyle Preston versus Xavier Rowe. I think that's going to be one that could be very vital for the way that these two sides play. They've just caught, oh no, he didn't catch the Colonel in the end. I'm sorry, he did. Colonel didn't catch him, so he gets some chicken, which would be a great way to start off the day at FMG. We have got good morning all, says Ano, welcome in. Will there be any card tonight? I think we're guaranteed at least one, aren't we? There's going to be some big hits. There's that rivalry that both sides try not to get too into, but there's always a bit of push and shove now when these two sides go head-to-head. Most recently, it was a game in Christchurch. That game was narrowly won by the Crusaders, but there were a few scuffles almost starting up in that game as well. Although, Hamish, you've already know I was going to show up here, says Josiah. Hutchinson's been outstanding. Rennie will be eyes on him. Yeah, and I think that it's going to be very intriguing to see. I mean, we've already seen all the All Black selectors pretty much there watching on this game, but yeah, what type of player are they going to be looking for? Who are the bolters that we're going to see? Maybe some of those guys miss out in July, but they could end up on a plane to South Africa, the slightly larger squad. That's heading that way. Josh Lord and Simon Parker, get a try, please. Says Tyrone, and how's it, Hamish? Hope you have an awesome weekend ahead. Says Anthony, same to you. And also auditions for the black jersey. Yeah, these are the type of games that I always say have a little bit more weight on them. You know, you can have a very good regular season, but if you play good playoff rugby, you straight away get that little bit of an extra tick and a bonus half point or so in terms of the selection chance. So, you know, you're playing these type of matches. Of course, there is a title on the line, but there's also that chance of making the All Black squad if you're a fringe guy who then comes out and has an absolutely incredible semi and a final in the mix as well. But we have got there, we know the URC finals. URC finals taking place next weekend, Saturday morning, 6:45 a.m. So it doesn't actually overlap with any of the Barbarians versus South Africa, Zimbabwe, or the Super Rugby final, which is great news. We have got Tyrone to set Simon Parker better. Get a try, please. Says Tyrone. Crusaders to win 29-20. Jason's prediction, and Havili's been outstanding in great form. Yeah, he's really coming to his own. And I know that in past years, some people haven't really put Havili in the conversation whatsoever in their All Blacks environment. But, you know, Rennie said he's picking off form. Now, you could argue that number 12 is one of the hardest jerseys to get into the team for based off form, because you've got someone like a Quinn Tupaia, you've got Timothy Tavatava-Nawai, you've got Geordie Barrett, who is still in the well and truly the running for that number 12 jersey. But, you know, someone like a David Havili, does he somehow sneak into Rennie's team with a bit more experience heading towards that South African tour? We have got there Samasoni, Cody and Asafo, says Ivan, and Dom Gardner to make the All Blacks. Well, the thing is, depending on the length that Satiti's out for, because it's a bit unknown at the moment, I think that, of course, they can give time frames, but in reality, they just have to wait and find out. So if that leaves a gap in the loose forwards, the fact that, you know, Satutu, Papali'i, Flanders, all those guys going overseas, there might be a bolter opportunity in the mix. And kickoff time is 7:05, so we've got 13 minutes till the start of this game. Josh Jacob to get a try, please. Says Kian. And also, why is Leroy Carter on the bench? Because he's coming back from injury. So he was supposed to return last week from his injury and didn't actually make the team in the end. He actually was a late exclusion. So I would say that they're using him more so as a bit of a late impact to get some minutes under his belt too. Definitely if the Chiefs do make it to the final next week. But yeah, he'll be fresh when he makes his way on. And of course, we know what he was able to do in the sevens and quick, snappy little moments. He could certainly be a bit of a game changer late. We've got Crusaders win 35-29. And what are the odds on TAB? Chiefs were $1.50, Crusaders $2.50 underdogs for this contest. And Hutchison, possible welter, says Gus Town. And also, I agree the Chiefs will win, says Kian. Be sure to keep those predictions coming in, ladies and gents, in terms of who you think will be able to win this contest. We'll look through it a little bit of what has happened recently and also what is still coming up. But these are the playoff games that we saw last week. Now, if you tuned into any of those matches hoping to see a close game going back and forth, you got that in the first half of Chiefs versus Reds, but that was about it. Every other game was one-sided. And, you know, I still consider the playoff round, with the exception of sometimes you get a bit of a curveball with the lucky loser situation, but the reality is that is your warm-up week for these semi-finals, which there was a very high chance it was going to be two New Zealand derbies from the get-go, because the lucky loser technically had a very good shot of going to a Kiwi team. So, yeah, I think that we're now in that scenario how these are the games that will be decided by moments, whereas last week, you know, the lowest scoring game had over 60 points. So, you know, and that was like 68 points. The highest scoring game was even more. You're looking at 83 in that Crusaders versus Blues matchup, and then 78 in that game between the Canes and the Brumbies, 66 of which being scored by one of the sides. But at the moment, it seems like Hurricanes Crusaders is the most popular vote in terms of what will be the final. Chiefs versus Blues only has 9%, but the Chiefs are favourites heading into this game. And they have got a tough team in front of them. And this Crusaders side, the game taking place tomorrow night is also going to be at 7:05. As you can see, a bit more one-sided in favour of the Hurricanes to go on to be able to win that game. Now just showing the benches as well on the screen. Or in fact, was that the bench or the starting lineup? They have Brodie McAllister up on the screen. That makes me think that maybe Letiu might be out late. Because I do see Cody Taylor still there. I haven't spotted Letiu yet though. So there might be a late change on... Oh, sorry, no, McAllister, he's on the Chiefs now, isn't he? Never mind, I take back everything that I just said because he's off the Chiefs bench instead. We have got, yeah, that's good money for the Crusaders, says the real Ando. And also, whoever wins this one will win the final, says Satyawan. And say it as a team to rock a show like this, not many if any, says Gus Town. Yet it's not the first time that the Crusaders have gone away from home and won a playoff game. They have an incredibly impressive record, but this Chiefs side, it's almost, it sounds weird to say, but it's due for them to beat this Crusaders team in a playoff match. There's been so many times that they've been separated by 7 or less. They just need one more try in this scenario to be able to get the job done. They have got their talisman in Damian McKenzie in the 10 jersey playing his 150th match. Ratima was also an All Black. There's probably about 10 All Blacks across the starting side for this Chiefs side, although the Crusaders have got their fair few All Blacks as well. Probably about, I'd say, 8 or so, somewhere around there. A couple ex-guys in there as well. Morning, Hamish says, pleasure and welcome in. If you are doing extremely well, we're 9 minutes away from the kickoff of this contest. It's going to be close, I reckon. Close, says Ando. What does it say, Braden? You know, because there's always one spelling error along the lineups. That seems to be the trend that we've been able to set somehow throughout every single live stream. There's always one. And to be fair, it's normally the outside centre, because I think Kyle Brown last week or the week prior was Kyle Arun because of an O rather than the B. Question for Mr. Hamish. Do you think if Anzac Test is a possibility for next year and only 10 teams, could you see a 2-week break? No idea, to be honest. I haven't done like the maths and whatnot for it. I know that if we only have 10 teams in Super Rugby, you'll get like a little bit of a break for the teams anyway, but I don't know whether they'd fill that in with trying to go back to a 3-match Bledisloe series. I think that's what many people would want to see, but in reality, they probably won't. Chris Wood, first try scorer. Says Peanut Slab and Damien get the try for the Chiefs. And also, I got to get up in 4 hours, says Robert. So, yeah, you should probably be sleeping, but good luck with the appointment tomorrow. We have got there mostly Chiefs fans tune in to Hamish, says Mark. And let's go the Crusaders all the best. Yeah, could be very close. I'm thoroughly excited for this game. I hope that the reality is we get to about 70 minutes and still don't know who's going to get themselves the victory in this game. It was talked about a while ago how Will Jordan-less Crusaders could struggle in playoff rugby, but they've done anything but. Johnny McNichol is in some of the best form that he maybe has ever been in that 15 jersey. He scored 7 tries across about 5 games. So that is certainly not going to be an issue for the Crusaders. I think it's going to be tactical for these two sides. Whoever makes the mistakes, I think that we're going to see a bit of box kicking. That's just a reality of modern rugby. But I think whoever counterattacks better is going to make a lot of meters and then from there turn it into try-scoring opportunities. We look through at the regular table, ladies and gentlemen. The Chiefs had a plus 190 points differential. These guys know how to get over the try line and get it over in quick succession. The Crusaders, they were plus 100 in their points differential. Now, a substantial stat that I want to mention about there is the fact that they lost 6 games. You know, the Chiefs, they won 11, they lost 3. The Crusaders, they lost by 50 points or so up against the Brumbies in the earlier stages of the contest. Maybe not quite 50, but it was a good old hiding for the team in Christchurch. They've lost 5 other matches other than that one, and their differential is still plus 100. So they too know how to score points when it matters most. And in playoff rugby, we have seen them do it time and time again, including last week in their playoff final up against the Blues. So 2 sides that know how to score. Of course, we're talking about high scorers. You've got to talk about the Canes as well. They are sitting with a 264 plus points differential. They are going head-to-head with the Blues tomorrow to determine who faces the winner of this game. Josh Lord get the first try for the Chiefs. Says Kian there. I feel like it's going to be a lopsided game. Either the Chiefs or the Crusaders are going to win by a lot, says Angel. And I don't think we win. I have a feeling Crusaders dominant, says Haino. And yep, you're right, Amish, says Mark. And can you explain what's wrong with the 3-game Bledisloe? It just became the reality where they wanted to shorten it so that it was the same amount of games for everyone in terms of the rugby championship. But like 2 matches in a Bledisloe series just doesn't feel enough, because the reality is if the All Blacks win the first one, it's over. And even if Australia pull off the upset and win the second, it doesn't do anything. It's just a draw. I'd much prefer to see if Australia do well enough to get a victory in the first or the second one, they at least should have a chance of being able to close it out and get themselves that Bledisloe back. Because I think that that's something that in the long run would benefit New Zealand and Australia quite a bit. Title free-flowing game. I think it will actually be both. And I know that that's a very diplomatic answer, but I think there'll be times where these two sides defend like their final and their pretty much whole season depends on it. And then there'll be other times where the ball's just bouncing awkwardly and everyone's running through gaps with about 15 line breaks and a half. But that's the bonus of this game. The fact that both sides have got the attack to be able to get the job done, but also have some crucial defending that they will have to do throughout the match. And they say that defense wins titles. And I think there'll be some very important one-on-one tackles to be made throughout this matchup today. We have got the Chiefs, says Lockie. We have got the Howdy Hamish and all Crusaders by one or more things, says Studs Race. And is that the ex-Wales player, Johnny McNichol? It is indeed. He's about 34, I want to say, at the moment, Johnny McNichol. But in some of the best form he's ever been in throughout his whole life at the moment, the way that he's playing. How old is the bloke? First Johnny that comes up is Depp. Johnny McNichol, he's actually 35 years old. But he's coming due to Will Jordan's injury and just kept on going. We have got there this Wales greatest team, or greatest ever player, Johnny McNichol. I feel like the Crusaders... Oh, I thought they were just saying Fletcher Null was out, but no, he is still in the starting lineup. No late changes by the looks of it for this Crusaders team. Hamish, watch game. Do you like the Chiefs? I do like the Chiefs. They've got a very good mix at the moment in terms of their forwards and their backs. They've got quite a few injured backs. If we're being honest, actually quite a few injured forwards too, but still a very strong team, attacking minded, tactical. And I think that this is the type of game that they really want to get under their belt. You know, that's the big one for this Chiefs side. They've met this Crusaders team many times in playoff rugby, and it just hasn't gone their way. Now, they have met in a semi-final recently. I believe that was, I want to say 2025 was the last time they met in a semi-final. I'm just going to have a look through. They've met many times in recent history. Where are we? Yeah, semi-final in 2022, the Crusaders won 20 points to 7. We did see in 2025... Where are we? Oh, they've never lost a home semi, they've just said, for the Chiefs, though. So that is something. But yeah, the final last year, 16 points to 12 in favour of the Crusaders. That one was in Christchurch. Have you eaten at the Bullet Bar in Timaru at all? Yeah, a wee while ago. We have there, how will Null's knees hold up? Hopefully, he will be all right, because, of course, the All Blacks would love to have him in the environment as well. Are we watching the game, or are you just talking about it? Just me talking about it, unfortunately. It is just live commentary due to SANZAR being quite strict on the copyright policy. Any match footage or audio would get me taken straight off YouTube with a 3-month ban and a copyright strike, and also potentially sued. And I always say I'd much rather not go to court, because that seems like hard work. And the Chiefs, says Haino there. Crusaders just about to make their way out of the tunnel. Of course, anyone who hasn't already, do let me know your score predictions for this game. And we on, says Peanut Slab. Yeah, it's an intense kind of match here between these two sides. And like I said, this year they've been quite, not hostile, but they've been a little bit aggressive towards each other, these two sides. We've seen a bit of push and shove. We've seen tip tackles on players. We've seen headshots, all sorts. Interesting step for you, Hamish. Chiefs have never lost a home semi-final. They did just mention that one. But yeah, it's a very intriguing situation because, of course, they've lost to the Crusaders in Christchurch in the semi-final, but they haven't lost one at home. FMG Stadium. Chiefs by 4. Okay, so a close game. I like the fact that there are a lot of predictions of a close match rather than one-sided. We had all our one-sided games, hopefully, last week in the playoffs, but Angus Gardner, he is going to be the referee in charge. Graham Cooper on the TMO. This will be intense, says Willow Dance. I guess the big question as well is who's going to be the first side to strike, ladies and gents, and how quickly are they going to get it done? The only Aussies in the semis is the referee. Says Kiwi Rob, which is exactly what you've been pretty much asking for the whole season in terms of a completely neutral referee. You always say that the Kiwi ones have bias towards the side, so you've got what you wish for. And you're still complaining about it. We have there's absolutely no way the Chiefs will put over 50 on the Crusaders. Anyone who thinks that should check themselves into Waikato Hospital. Hi, Hamish, says Paul. Welcome in. But we got the countdown 3, 2, 1, and the Super Rugby semi-finals will now be underway. The Chiefs kicking off from left to right and slapped back by Hannah. It does go into the hands of Sever Reese. He's come into his own throughout the second half of the season. Is there a free way to watch it? I think it would be on Prime later on, but I'm not sure if there's a free way to watch it live. Oh, actually, no, Prime sometimes do have a Friday night game, don't they? So it could be on there, but I'm not 100% sure. Noah Hotham inside of his own 22. He's gone for the kick up high. Sever Reese chasing after this one, but Liam Coombs fabling at the forward momentum. Knocks it back onto his Chiefs side. Isaac Hutchinson trying to turn it into a rolling maul. Was a Jamie Hanna and Ethan Blackadder. And Chiefs better backline moves. Dry and a little Jew. Chiefs to take it 27-22. Says run Forest run. I don't know if you meant to rhyme that, but you did it perfectly. Now Kotis Ratama back across to McKenzie. Pops it up to Norris. Sitting around the halfway line at the moment here for the Chiefs. And the key to success here, just don't let the Crusaders have the ball. Something that every side has tried to do in playoff rugby. A lot of sides have failed. Blackadder looking for the steal on the breakdown. Couldn't quite get onto it. Now Ratama back into the pocket to McKenzie. Goes with the high and crossfield kick. Reese all knocked on by Tupaia. It will be either the scrum. Oh no, they are going to just go with the scrum for the Crusaders. Go Crusaders, go. And we have their rugby round here is just super. And also we have there, Kia ora, says Ardell, welcome in. And for Kitty for the first one. And did you watch the Soccer World Cup opener yesterday? Clearly a sport in which South Africa does not dominate. Says Junko, I saw the score. I haven't actually seen any of the match though yet. The first scrum of the day, only 2 minutes in to the contest. It is within the Crusaders half on the near side of the field, about, I'd say, 30 metres out from their own line. So this will be a good position on the field to win a penalty. Pack weights, 920 kgs for the Crusaders, 924 kgs for the Chiefs. So both sides relatively bulky in that regard. Going back across to the right-hand side. Bit of a backline movement out to Johnny McNichol. No look past to Che Fiaki. Cuts back in and does carve through. Almost manages to get the offload to McNichol, but the tackle made by Tumi Falau. Oh, loose ball though. Pass misses everyone in that Crusaders backline, so Havili decides the up and under is the way to go. McKenzie retreating, but it goes straight to Liam Coombs, fambling, who almost got his knee bent in an awkward manner. Bit of a counter ruck from the Crusaders. The ball's still on the side of the Chiefs. Now Luke Jacobson, he fends off Antonio Shalfoon. Ball on the inside to Parker, and they're back up to the halfway line, the Chiefs. Oh, and a knock on the ground from Josh Lord as he went for the pick and go. We have there, go Crusaders, go, says Josiah, and Chiefs all the way, says Kian. My friend says Clifford, welcome in. We see there Luke Jacobson, he almost managed to get through. Antonio Shalfoon, he had a vice-like grip on the back of his jersey and was not going to be letting it go. And we have there, let's go, Hamish, who's on auction tonight? Who's on auction? Who's on auction? Is that because I'm talking fast, maybe? It's not being screened on Prime, says Ivan. So, yeah, I guess there isn't really. They should have a free-to-air option in New Zealand. Like, even if it is on Sky, like, maybe it will be delayed on Prime. I think it's something that they've done in the past, unless they're only going to do one of the two games. But the Crusaders have got themselves another scrum here, 40 metres out from their own line this time. I've seen Blackadder already trying to fight for those turnovers and the breakdowns as well. And Chiefs running it early. I think both these sides love running the ball. It's proven by their points differential, so I think they're going to definitely go and try and bring up. I think we're going to have over 1,000 running metres between these two sides in this contest. Nice run from Christian Leo Willie off the back. Luke Jacobson, did he go in through the side? Yes, he did. So it is going to be the penalty going the way of the Crusaders here. This one just out of reach, I would say, in terms of distance of Taha Kimura, but we saw Severis slot one over from the sideline. Fiaki's got a long boot. Havili as well, but they're going to kick for the corner, the Crusaders. They're going to go aggressive early. Oh, not the best strike of the ball from Taha Kimura either, but it does go out. Be about 40 metres out, the line out for the Crusaders. South Africa finally lost in something. Says Clifford, and also, yeah, you started rattling off names. I thought we were auctioning people. Says Pro Pleb. And I want to see Nasty Fee now. He's gold. And also go, Satyrs go, says Josiah, but Cody Taylor now with the line-out throw. Going to be a good battle in the two jerseys today. Samasoni Tolkiaho versus Taylor. Overthrown line-out. Slips through the hands of the Crusaders lock, and Samasoni Tolkiaho pounces on it. Now Cortez Ratama. Back across there, Quinto Pai, a big wide pass from Damian McKenzie out to Kieran Tomoi Falau. Goes for the chip of mine, but Fiaki retreats nicely. The ball will just about stay on the side of the Crusaders, just 40 metres out from their own line. I'll be Crusaders and Hurricanes in the final. That was the most popular guess in terms of the poll that they did before the game on Sky Sport. I'm trying to find this ball, and the breakdown was Noah Hotham having a crawl in and out. He does get it back for the box kick yet again. Chasing after this one is Fiaki. Had to wait for Kieran Tomoi Falau to land. He's done a round the back offload to keep the ball alive. Weather conditions. And Hamilton says Stewart at the moment looking pretty nice. As a whole, there'll be a little bit of dew around just because of the evening game, but it's much better than last week when it was absolutely pouring down for these two sides. Well, I think it was raining in Christchurch, but they had a roof, so they didn't have to deal with that. But the Hurricanes game was also dealing with a bit of rain. Now running it up, Taha Kimura after the kick downfield from the Chiefs. Now sitting on the halfway line, 6 minutes into this game, Antonio Shelfoon takes the contact himself rather than the pop pass to Taylor. Hotham moves it across the Havili, loop around the back with Johnny McNichol, lured in off the wing for Tupaia. Connected by two of the three. Chiefs lose forwards, and it's a drop ball now from Havili. Crusaders, they have managed to also give that ball up in the breakdown. Simon Parker across to Lord. He decides he'll have a crack at the line anyway. Brewis gets him low. Chiefs need to try, please, says Kian. Black out of the master holding opposition in the ruck, says Nutter Boy. Now kick downfield, Damian McKenzie. That one's going to be intercepted, or at least for half a second, but then knocked on by Christian Leo Willie. Backline movement here for the Chiefs. Liam Coons-Fabling on the outside of Kieran Tomoi Falau. They're already letting off the fireworks, or those fire blasters next to the stands. They felt like they were going to get a try there, the Chiefs, and they win the penalty instead. This one about 25 metres out from the try line. Probably about 35 on the angle, though, for Damian McKenzie, and it seems like the option may be to go for the corner here as well. Okay, they've said there was some light rain an hour before kickoff, so that will bring a little bit of slipperiness into the equation as well as the dew, but it was charged down by Jamie Hanna's armpit. And then from there, McKenzie from inside of his own half created the chance. Who do you think wins, Hamish? If you put $1 on, who would you pick? I don't know. I think that for this game, because it's so 50-50, if you had one singular dollar, you'd be better off backing someone to score a try, because that's more likely to happen, I think. Now going off to the right-hand side, Cortez Ratama, cross to Quinto Pai, he breaks through, but just last minute, Lester Whainanoku makes the tackle. Now Ratama, short ball off to Hutchinson, they're 5 metres out from the line here, the Chiefs right in front of the post, back across to the left again, crawling as close as he can there, Quinto Pai. Now 2 metres short, and the number 2, Tolkiaho, gonna have a crack himself. Just decide to leave it behind. Tupovai, he's looking off to the side. Oh, he's dropped the ball. He wanted to go himself rather than the pop pass, and it is going to be turned over now by the Crusaders, and they'll get themselves the 5 metre scrum. Now, what's your score prediction for this one? I feel like 25-22 for some reason is sticking with me, but that's, I think, only because that was the final score a few years ago. But I think mid-20s for both these sides isn't out of the question. I know that in Christchurch it was a bit more high scoring. It was under the roof, so that's always going to bring a few more points into the equation. Yeah, it was Blackadder's hand that knocked it out of the hands of Tupovai. Okay, the knock-on was first, then he played it, says the referee there. And Vai says Peanut slab. And Super Events won the Crusaders. Let's go, says Josiah. And there too, I'm playing the ball on the ground, says Nada Boy. 9 minutes into this contest, though, it is still 0-all between these two sides. Crusaders are idiots, says Kian. They are still 0-all, though, so it's not going too badly for either of these sides as of yet. And just showing there, the Crusaders have a 95% scrum success rate, only losing their 4 throughout this season. The score is still 0-all after 9.5. But still plenty of time for points. Scrum has gone in. Looks like it's pretty solid there from both sides, not really moving at all. A nice step from Eno. Almost managed to sneak through a gap straight on the ball for the Chiefs. If he wasn't in through the side, it should be their penalty, and it is. It was Quinn Tupaia who managed to get the turnover. You're going to see the replay. He was lightning quick. And like I said, as long as he was through the gate, he is completely legal there, Tupaia, to be able to have a crack at that ball. It's a big step from Braden Enor to initially get round Quinn Tupaia, who fought back. Maybe not quite through the back, but still onto the ball very quickly for Quinn Tupaia there. And we go down, Chiefs, please, says Josiah. Nicely taken by Josh Lord, short side, Taukiaho. Only a couple metres short of the line again here for the home side. Now Ratama, the Crusaders trying to stay on that goal line, but they were a little bit too quick marching forward. The penalty advantage against them now. Straightening run there for Simon Parker. Didn't quite reach out to the line. Ratama moves it on. Lalakai Fokiri. Wide cut out past to Kurantomo Falau. And he will score the try in the corner. And the Chiefs get the first try of the semi-final. And that is exactly what you need to do at home as well. 9th of the season for Kurantomo Falau. He wasn't even making the team at the start of the year when they had Narawa and Carter out on the wings. He was playing for the Chiefs B side, but ever since getting that promotion to the A team, he has certainly been an A+ player. And the just wide cut out pass, it was nicely done from Lalakai Fokiti too. We have you there, yes, says Haino there, and Chiefs says DZ, and also, yeah, boys, go Chiefs. The finish from Tomi Falau, put up the fin as well for his Tasman Marcos. And Clifford has got their support Chiefs all. McKenzie from the sideline made it look easy. Goes straight down the middle. Makes the score now 7 points to 0 for the Chiefs here. And O says Matthew. And also first Bam says Willow. But yeah, it was just nice pressure play from the Chiefs trying to trap the Crusaders inside of their own half. And it was that turnover from Tupaia that changed the momentum. Yep, no, it's going to go the 10 metres. That was close to not even travelling the 10 off the kickoff, but it's come to a counter-attack now for the Crusaders right from the get-go. Missed tackle from Ratama, but finished off by Jacobson. Now Hotham back across to the left-hand side, and it's a drop ball from Taha Kimura. It's ruled as backwards, although straight on the ball there for Parker. It looks like he may have a turnover, although straight back on him is Hotham. And this one, the referee's just looking at that breakdown. He's hoping the ball's going to sort itself out, but it seems like both sides had their hands on it. And now it's going to be, I think, ruled as an unplayable. And the Chiefs are going to have the scrum. Both these teams just all offense, just based off recent games and scores. Depends a little bit. I think that we saw some of the best defending that we've seen from the Chiefs at times throughout their game up against the Reds. But because of their ability of scoring tries, and the situation normally is when you've got so many line breaks in a game, it doesn't take a lot for the opposition to get a sneaky one back off you, off an interception pass or a cross kick attempt. We've actually seen it quite a bit for these two sides, so the scorelines can be a little bit deceiving, I will say, but I think that's what also hides a few of the secrets about the way that these two sides can defend when they need to. And normally in the playoff situation, you know, these two sides are not unfamiliar with a low-scoring close game in a semi. And geez, looking mean, says Dunk. And let's go to say to smash them in the scrum, says Matthew. Ball in the hands of McKenzie. He does look for the kick down the middle of the field. Nicely taken by Johnny McNichol. Oh, he's looking for a 50-22 as well, but doesn't quite get the distance on. Who scored a try for the Chiefs? It was Kieran Tomei-Falau who managed to get it. And nicely taken by Reese. Side of his 22, he will return fire with a big boot down the middle of the field. Nice take from Isaac Hutchinson at the back. And Luke Jacobson running it. Oh, it's a good run from Hutchinson too, though. He's managed to break through 3 or 4 initial tackle attempts of the Crusaders. Now Ollie Norris moves it on to McKenzie. It's going to be another penalty advantage in favour of the Chiefs. This one definitely more straight than the last, but slow getting back up to his feet here. Sione Ahio, man who was involved in that nasty collision last week with Wallace Satiti. Grub it in behind. Kick forward by Kieran Tomei-Falau. Is he going to pick it up? Yes, he does it. He gets his second of the contest. Kieran Tomei-Falau moves to double digits for the season try tally, and the Chiefs move into double digits too for the semi-final here. Just waiting patiently for the bounce of the ball. Tomei-Falau. But Isaac Hutchinson gets round 1 in Blackadder, 2 in Shelfoon, 3 in Reese, and then eventually Hotham and Harvili had to get rid of him. We're hooking around the shopping centre. You're a lifesaver, Hamish. Thanks, mate. No worries at all, Joss. And the grubber in behind from Damien McKenzie, and it was off the shin of Tomei-Falau. Not only did it deceive the man at the back, but it also just caused enough of a directional change. He had all the momentum, and the Crusaders certainly did not. But the kick has gone over, and that is making the score now 14-0 in favour of the Chiefs. Never lost a semi-final at home, and they don't plan on doing it today. Arata has made a great start. Says Golden. It's a good finish there from Tomei-Falau, though that ball was initially going to be just short of the line. Had he waited much longer, one of the Crusaders may have been able to get back there. Kicked off, nicely taken by Tupavai. Big driving low tackle from Harvili. Just on their own 22 at the moment, the Chiefs. But again, the dreams start in this contest. And we have you there. Thanks for the commentary. Tuning in from Osaka, Japan. And go the Crusaders, says Richo. And the Crusaders have gone to sleep, says Demon. Yeah, Crusaders are most likely done. No more hope, says Josiah. You're surely not giving up on them just yet, Josiah. You have been the man who has gone on and on and on about how good they have been throughout the last 5 weeks. They can see 2 early tries, 16 minutes into the game. You say, oh, well, there's always next year. Surely this side that you have backed for so long have a little bit left in the tank after only 16, right? Possession and territory both in favour of the Chiefs. The Crusaders have not entered the Chiefs 22 as of yet. Now thrown into the front, nice take from Antonio Shelfoon. Awkward bouncing ball, but Hotham controls it nicely. Back to Reese, who again goes for the boot. Too early to write off the Crusaders, says Eugene. A long way to go, says Peter. Absolutely. Game of rugby is 80 minutes. The Chiefs have had flying starts before and have slowed down, but they just have to keep their foot on the gas. I'm going to quick today go to Crusaders, says Dame. Early days, guys. Crusaders are here to play, says Robert. Tahakimura, he's had 82 points for this season. That Crusaders number 10 jersey has looked a little bit rattled in the early stages. He's also got a big rip down the side of his armpit, so might get a new shirt at some stage. Josh Lord ready to jump up for this line. I know, in fact, they're going to go to Finau at the back. That's it, taken by Ratama. A run forward from Quinn Tupaia. As starts go, the Crusaders have had a good front row seat. Oh, drop ball from McNichol. And that should be just a scrum. Okay, no. Angus Gardner saying that he was playing advantage, allowing the Chiefs to play it out. McKenzie looking for the 50-22, but it's out on the full. Oh, now he is going to play the knock-on advantage there, Angus Gardner. So it is going to be a Chiefs scrum. McKenzie, he's nodding his head saying that's why I kicked the ball out, because we had advantage. We have you there, Monty Hamish. It's Golden Port Elizabeth. Enjoying the rugby cesspool floors. And we have got there, what's your opinion on Super Rugby teams playing Champions Cup? Be great, I think, and add to the competition. We have got a Club World Cup taking place in 2028. Where we will get to see the Super Rugby sides going head-to-head up against the Champions Cup teams. So that's something to look forward to in terms of North versus South clubs. But it's still a little while away, unfortunately. Only 19 minutes into this contest. 2 tries early for Kieran Tomei-Falau. Outside of that, no one else has scored in this contest, except for, of course, Damian McKenzie getting his 4 points from conversions. And advantage should be over, says Haino. And also Damian take the ball, says Kian. Now Cortez Ratama, about 38 metres out from the Crusaders line. Again, the Chiefs in a good position on the field. Scrum staying solid on both ends. McKenzie back across to the right. Lalokai Faketi. He breaks the line. He's got Hutchinson with him. The draw and pass wasn't too early. Hutchinson reaches out and scores the try anyway to continue what has been a stunning season from the young 15. He's hurt his shin though. And he does not look in a good way at the moment. Hutchinson, he is in a lot of discomfort, but he gives the camera a thumbs up. He celebrates that try. It's actually only a second of the season, which is almost hard to believe with how well he's been playing, but he's set up a lot. And Lalokai Faketi, his aggressive run from outside centre, certainly set that one up. And then Hutchinson goes on over to score a crucial try. And told you it was going to be a lopsided game. I wasn't sure which team. Here's Angel. We have their double movements, says Kiwi Rob. Well, you're allowed one movement towards the line, which is exactly what Hutchinson's done. And never double movement. You're allowed to extend move to place the ball down. How is that not double movement? Because the laws say you can do exactly what he did. It's quite interesting, though, because now we know exactly who you're going for in this scenario, Kiwi Rob. Because everything the Chiefs do, you keep on saying they haven't done legally. But it's a weird scenario that you're supporting the side that beat you last week. At 19 minutes, already more action than the entire South Africans game earlier today. Go the Chiefs. See, it's run for us, run. But Lalokai Faketi, it looked initially like he went too soon with the ball to Hutchinson, but he's a powerful ball runner. He just gets over anyway. As they just get lost, says Daisy. And I am Shout to say it's getting a wallop. And also Hutchinson, boy, might be on a plane to South Africa. What do you reckon? Bro reminds me of D-Mac. Keeps of attack and flair, that boy. He's also got good power, doesn't he? In terms of, we're close to forward from Sione Ahio, who is continuing awkward pass there, almost intercepted by Whananuku. But again, Damian McKenzie going to run it out from his own 22. Ball on the inside to Cortez Ratama. It's line break after line break at the moment for the Chiefs. Ratama waits it perfectly. And it's going to be taken back by Taha Kimura to make it a 5-metre scrum in favour of the Chiefs. They are all over the Crusaders like a rash at the moment in Hamilton. And Crusaders and then South Africa are tied of winning games, says Clifford. Okay, Chiefs, you got a lead. Just don't do what the Spurs did. I know it says Poppy Seymour in there as well, but that is a perfectly weighted kick from Cortez Ratama. The pace was good from Taha Kimura in the end to be able to get back there and win it. That wasn't taken back. It was. And Hutchinson's still getting the heavy strapping on his leg at the moment. And come on, says Zane. And also, just realised Faketi is someone's name. Sounded like Hamish would have censored it, reading it out. Yeah, Lalokai Faketi in that 13 jersey. They've had a few injuries in that department. But he's still a very handy player. And like a rash boy, you love it, says Dean. Now the scrum here for the Chiefs popping up on the far side. Newell getting stood up by Ollie Norris. That is a statement and a half, but they could still score from it as well. They're over the line, the Chiefs, but they'll go back for the penalty. Ball was dropped, and Chiefs made the right decision to let G League go. And also we have the Chiefs win next game over, if the Chiefs score next game over. The Crusaders score game on. 3 of the last 4 penalties have gone against the Crusaders, all within their own half. That is a big shove right there from Ollie Norris. It's not too often you see Fletcher Newell stood up in a scrum, but the pressure was coming not just from Norris, but also from the men behind him. It's a powerful 4-pack, 924 kgs. Well, this match, Hutchinson still, I'll tell you what, his leg looks like it's in a cast at the moment. That's how much strapping they've put on him. It looks like Leroy Carter, a man who's only recently returned from injury, now is going to do a few warm-ups just in case. And Ollie Norris turns right and gets the penalty. See how it starts raising here. Crusaders could do with a try. That one's gone down in the front row. Parker breaking off the back, gives it a Cortez Ratama, the short run from Quinn Tupaia there. Ball comes back up to Hakimura, trying to hold him up. It's a dangerous tactic. This goes to the line, though, definitely with the power of the forward. Samasoni Tolkiao, he's over the line, and it's try number 4 for the Chiefs. They are not slowing down one bit here in this contest. 11th try of the season. We might get 11 tries in this game at this rate. We're 24 minutes in. It's 26-0. And Sandy has become a channel member. Thank you very much. It is greatly appreciated. Tolkiaho just getting that one perfect in terms of his body height. Finishes that one off. Let's go, says Haino. And who will play fullback for the Chiefs? I think that they may, if they're going to put Carter on, Liam Coons-Fabling would just go to 15. More than likely, that's the easy switch. And Masaki, yes, says Willow. And Crusaders know how to get the job done. Well, they've got to start remembering how to get the job done because they're currently 28-0 down, 24 minutes into this contest. Right, Leroy Carter is out there, though. So the injury concerns for Hutchinson, whether or not he would be there next week, we will wait and see, of course. I'm a Crusaders fan, but it's already over, bro. I did see someone earlier on asked about the odds at the moment. For the Crusaders to come back and win this game is $26, which is, that's got to be the highest odds the Crusaders have almost ever had. Even in their game up against the Brumbies earlier on in the season, people still thought maybe there was half a shot. So next week is the final, correct? Yes, it will be 7:05 on Saturday night. Yep, Cortez Ratama, just on that 22. And this ball towards the sideline, although it doesn't get it too far towards touch. Instead, Johnny McNichol will be able to kick this ball on the side of the Crusaders. Taha Kimura looking to break the line. He does so this time. Some fancy footwork from the winger, from the 10. And Che Fiaki scores try number 1 for the Crusaders here. Okay, see now, just as I mentioned those odds, they decide, you know what? Actually, we're supposed to be a bit closer in this. Now, that looked a bit too easy in the back line. It was down to Ratama's clearing kick. I believe it would have been taken back, so wasn't able to find touch, but instead it was pretty uncontested from the Chiefs, just gifting the ball back to the Crusaders, and then a pass out wide after some fancy footwork from Taha Kimura does lead to another try in this Super Rugby semi-final. Hurricanes versus Chiefs final. Very easily, Chiefs will destroy the Crusaders, says Cool Coyote. And also, we have got there, sick of being bridesmaids, says just better than UNZ. And if the Crusaders get within 14 by halftime, all won't be lost. Yeah, now they're only 18 underdogs. But Taha Kimura does miss that one away to the left-hand side. What happened to Isaac Hutchinson in the process of scoring the try? He did seem to hurt his shin. They tried to strap it up. Then they tried to strap up his thigh. And then they decided that it probably wasn't worth, keeping him out there. I can do the Leicester Tiger game, please. I haven't even looked at. I think that's Northampton that they're playing, right? That's at I want to say 6:45 a.m. tomorrow morning. It's a loose ball there, picked up by Tupavai. I've recovered from being sick, by the way. The voice still doesn't like me that much, though. Lalakai Fokiti, big driving tackle from the Crusaders, 3 of which from the forwards. Now, nice ball on the outside. The delayed pass from McKenzie. Delayed again out to Kirantomoi Falau. He tries to bump off Fiaki, but he just manages to hang on there. The Crusaders winger, and the ball did go into touch. Without the Chiefs, but no one has won until the final whistle, says Jake Says do better. And crazier things have happened. Go the Crusaders, says Sale GP, but they're under pressure now again, this Crusaders side. Every time the Chiefs get to around halfway, McKenzie fires a perfect pass to someone else on his team to be able to get the line break. Are we over there? Come on, the boys, says Mark. Now, nice take there from Jamie Hanna. Noah Hotham. On the way to the left-hand side off to Ethan Blackadder. You doing Super Rugby just? Probably. I feel like we've got some busy weekends coming up, so it wouldn't be a bad idea to have a slightly cruisier one now. About 28 minutes gone in this contest. It's 28-5 already. The last time that these two sides played in a semi-final, I believe the score was about 20 points to 7. So we've already had more points than that, and we're still only 28 minutes in. And Liam Coons-Fabling is off to France next year. Hope Brock comes back, says Johnny Blaze. Now line out here for Samasoni Tolkiaho. One of the many try scorers that we have had throughout this first half. Oh, they've just said there that the Crusaders came from 21-7 down when they won in round 3. So they've done it before. They were hoping to do it again, although they may be more than the 23 points down if they're not careful. The way that the Chiefs keep on finding a way through, it's thoroughly impressive. 22 metres out from the line, right in the middle of the field. Now Ratima going back across to the right-hand side to Taukiaho. What is the score? 28-5 after 29 minutes at the moment. Whainanuku also very slow. Getting back up to his feet there. Be a slight bit of concern for him in the background. He's still limping on his leg here. Whainanuku is not 100% at all. He's probably not even 20% at the moment, the way that he's moving. He's trying to shake it out. It's not working too well. Now, Ratima. Going away to the left-hand side now, passing it on to Sione Ahio. Oh no, in fact, that time it was Taukiaho with Ahio on his flank. Now, Vai. 30 minutes into this contest currently. Now Lalakai Foketi moves it on. Couple missed tackles. And Bunfar is back. Leroy Carter, after an extended injury, comes back into the side and scores within a couple of minutes. We have got there. I'm sensing another Chiefs try coming up. He says the toast. Well, Leroy Carter's just got his 5th of the season now. 33 points to 5. At this point in time, I'm surprised now lackluster. Savia player was in the finals. They look completely disinterested. Says Robert. And good on you, Leroy, says Duncan. Bumfar says Teasy there. But finishes it off. You don't get too many. Well, to be fair, he had to step around some of the Crusaders players, but they hardly got a fingertip on him. Straight out in front of the post. McKenzie slots it over again. 35-5. We have 40 points with 31 minutes in. Do these guys have some plans for the second half or something? They want the game to be over earlier, so they're just going, we'll just get all the points now and we won't worry about the second 40. But it's been eventful, to say the very least. We have there, strange to say, but the Chiefs need to keep going. It's correct. Yeah, they can't afford to be the next team to concede here, which is ironic when they're up by so much. But the rule of thumb is if you score a certain amount in one half, the opposition technically can score that same amount in the second. So the Chiefs will be well aware of that. Know that they have to keep this one going. Now, I'm looking around for Leicester Whainanuku at the moment. Trying to work out how that knee is because it looked a little bit dodgy. Near the end of that last play, Johnny McNichol takes that ball nicely and decides to go with a quick throw. The Crusaders have realised they don't really have time to take a minute for a line out there. Instead, he runs straight into Ethan Black at it. Foketi slips over in the process. 35-5, is this the semi-final? It is, believe it or not. Well, that was close to offside for Taukiaho getting up extremely early. 28 points down. Sorry, the same NBA game over. Says just better. And also blow a halftime whistle. Crusaders need talking to, says Willow. This one's kicked high again by Hotham. Going to get the bounce of the ball, and it's slapped back by Leroy Carter. Goes to Vai. There's also the knock-on advantage. Oh, very tentative for Whainanuku getting in that breakdown. He's still far from his best at the moment. He's struggling to jog. So I'm not too sure what good he's going to be to them if he can't actually move. We have got the damn Sunsaders are getting beat down by the Chiefs. I haven't done so much of my thoughts on the so much for my thoughts on the close game. At least the Crusaders flip the switch in the next half. It's over. First time on here. Push the wrong button, says Ian Crevy. Now chipping behind. Nicely done by Liam's Goons Fabling. Another step. He's got the wide cutout pass for Kitty towards the line. Inside ball to Tupavai. They have their 6th of the contest. What do you even say at this point? This is even, I want to say it right now, even the most loyal, dedicated Chiefs supporters, at most we're backing their side by, let's say, 10 to 15. They're currently, at this point in time, up by 35 points in the first half. I don't know. And by Crusaders, ladies and gentlemen, the choke Crusaders, says Vic. It's up there dead already, says just better. Listening from Tenerife, Canary Islands in Spain. Thanks for the commentary. Looking forward to the Chiefs win so far. Unbelievable, says Martin there. Yep, that's game over, says Demon the 11th, and Crusaders are worn out, having to promote their new stadium, says Jason. That one is going to go over from Damien McKenzie. He's sitting 6 from 6, by the way, off the kicking tee. I know we've talked about what's been happening with the tries scored and whatnot, but McKenzie is certainly playing his part in the way that they're going. And I thought this game could go anyway. And the Hurricanes sweating, says Wade, and the Hurricanes will win this year. Justin Marshall, that's an understatement of the century. He's just said Crusaders need to change their tactics quickly. Well, yeah, because they're down by 37 points at the moment, so the tactic they're using isn't working. But now Ratama goes across to the left-hand side to Samasoni Taukiaho. I feel like we've covered a whole game of rugby at this point. We're still 35 minutes in. Into the pocket, McKenzie. Oh, he's not happy with that kick, though. He's gone out. And we have got their, they're on track for 60 points. And also we have got their, look like a touch game. Yeah, it's like this 47 points. I know we talked about the playoff games being high scoring, but we're almost already there. Yeah, this looks like Whainanaku, he is done. I mentioned about that knee earlier on. He looks distraught, but it just seemed like he wasn't coming back to the full strength and the full speed that he would have required in a game like this that has been very open throughout the early stages. Line out throw for Cody Taylor, nicely taken by Hannah. Now Blackadder. Going back across to Dom Gardner. Oh, pick and go was about to be attempted by Hotham. Instead, Leo Willie receives the short ball from Reese. Looking for the steal and the breakdown. That time were the Chiefs, and they managed to get it here again. They've just been one step ahead the whole way through. And McKenzie kicks that one into touch. And we'll be back to where we were about a minute and a half ago with the Crusaders line out. 30 metres out from the line. And keep stomping them. And also the Chiefs are playing their final week too early, says Jason. And OMG, the Chiefs are smashing the Crusaders. And what do you think will be the major changes during the off-season? Do you expect any players like Savia will come back to New Zealand? I'm not sure what his plan is, Savia, at the moment, because of course he was initially going to be going back to Moana Pacifica, but they might not be a team that he can actually go back to. Nicely taken. At line-out time again. Loose ball picked up by the Crusaders with Cody Taylor. I was going to say the last time that man's been 37 points down was a matchup that they, of course, have already tried to put to the back of their minds internationally last year. This All Blacks team. This has to be a weird feeling for the Crusaders at the moment. If we reach 60-plus lead, I feel at ease, says Robert. Also on the side of the Crusaders, 3.5 minutes remaining here in the first half. Pick and go from Haveli. Pick and go again from Christian Leo Willie. Slowly making those meters, the Crusaders, but they need more than meters. They need 37 points to draw. Now Antonio Shalfoon goes round into Tolkiaho. It's not over yet. The Crusaders need to change tactics, Marshy. And what a bulldozer of a game so far. Yeah, there hasn't been many slow moments in it, has there? I mentioned about how I thought this game would have about 1,000 running meters between the teams. We might almost have that in the first half. Haveli pops it back. Oh, cheap shot on Taha Kimura. Offload from Enor. Played on the ground by McKenzie. Looked like a knock on, but the Chiefs have got this ball for now. I think that they may want to check what just happened there. Ratama back across to the right. Another player down. I think that's Tomoe Falau in the background. He hasn't got back to his feet. Or doesn't look 100% either, almost gingerly moving. In fact, it's Lalakai Foketi. Now, on the halfway line here for Ollie Norris. Back to McKenzie. He will go aerial again with the kick cross field. Chasing after this is Leroy Carter, but it sits up with Taha Kimura close to the sideline. Back to Reese. Firing it infield like it's a game of rugby sevens at the moment. Fiaki going for distance. McKenzie misses the ball. Stays in the field of play though. Does have the man on the inside. Does decide to use Liam Coombs-Fabling, who is now slotting into more so that number 15 role. Take from Reese, 40 metres out from his own line. Now the chip in behind. Attempted from Johnny McNichol. It didn't go where he wanted it to, but he's actually done well to get a second touch on it. He is saying that he was pushed without the ball. Referee will rule it as a line out. This game is going so fast, they're going to keep up with the pace, I assume that is, rather than the police. And got to go for a beer. And Onson, thanks for the commentary. from a suck of Japan from Rico there. We have got there, g'day, all high Hamish up the mighty Chiefs. Yeah, I hope you are doing well, David. I think you'll be pretty happy with how it's sitting currently. Just a minute remaining in this first half. The line-out chance. Ball is thrown in by Taukiaho, claimed by Tupavai. Has already scored in this matchup. McKenzie dodges a tackle and then fires it downfield once more. Che Fiaki stepping, trying to go through Tomoi Falau. And 42-5. As I suck that up, Crusaders. Says dunk there. Now on the halfway line, Gardner crashes forward again. McNichol with a good fend on Lalakai Feketi. Inside pass to Enor. Jacobson, though, right on the ball early, and he manages to get another steal. It seems like a lack of security in the breakdown for the Crusaders at the moment. Fee now moves the ball on the outside to Tomoi Falau. Now getting close to the sideline. He's bundled into touch there, Tomoi Falau. Crusaders will have the line-out chance. They should take off all Chiefs, All Blacks players, protect them from injury. Job done here. Des Martin. Yeah, although it's a risky one, isn't it? Because you don't also want to make too many changes early and somehow, some way, give, of course, 37 points should be done and dusted, right? But there are certain sides in this world that you still feel like you need to hear the full-time siren. That's going to hurt them, though. A not straight line out from Taylor. So it is going to be the chance for the Chiefs. So I think they'll just go for the tap, kick it into touch, and claim a very dominant first half here. 42 points to 5 in the Super Rugby semi-final. And we have got there, do the Crusaders look gas, says Studs Race. They look fresh enough, to be fair to them. But I think they were missing tackles. They also seemed like they were tactically a little bit off. To say that is an understatement, of course. Consider the Crusaders and All Blacks defence, says Stewart there. And what national team at this point would you consider to be in form leading into next year's World Cup? I feel like there are a few. I do also want to wait till the end of July, though, for the answer to that question. Because I feel like we saw some sides doing well in November last year who may not do so well in July because of the home and away situation. What a half of rugby. Well, it went quick. Felt like 15 minutes, to be honest with you. So I guess that is one slight bonus. I'm sure it felt probably a pretty long half for the Crusaders. Seriously, is that the score of the first half? Yeah, believe it or not, it is. This is not some sort of simulation of the game where we've turned the difficulty down and played as the Chiefs. This is the Super Rugby Pacific semi-final that at the start of this game, I, just like a lot of people, said, hey, at least these games are going to be close compared to the playoffs. But currently 37 points. It's closer than the Hurricanes Brumbies, at least. Right? That's one slight benefit. Who else was split by? Crusaders Blues was split by 21. Chiefs Reds was split by 22. Okay, so the Crusaders need to come back a little bit to make it a closer game, and the closest that we've had of playoff rugby thus far. Game over, bro? Yeah, I don't see a way of the comeback happening. I think it's more so how many points can the Crusaders score to mitigate the damage, because currently this has been pretty damaging. And Crusaders have been spectating in their own game at this point, and the only pick of the Waikato try line is that the Crusaders got, was when Ratama did one of his poor kicks. They should ban the box kick, says Hartley. And also imagine betting on that first half, I don't bet, says Lightfoot. The thing is, there would have been a few people, I can tell you right now, who locked in the Crusaders for $2.50 thinking easy money, because they would have looked at the Crusaders record, they would have looked at what they did this year and also just in playoffs in general and gone, this is a pretty handy bet. And they'll be looking at their bank balances now going, why did I decide to do that? Super Rugby sucks. But only because of the unpredictability. But that's also what makes it great. Obviously, the Chiefs are playing quite well, but also the Crusaders make a mistake every time they get the ball. It's probably just more going to be more of the same, says Andrew. Yeah, there haven't been too many successful plays from the Crusaders that have gone more than probably 5 phases, I would say, somewhere around there. A lot of the time, they've either had to kick that ball downfield due to the dominance in territory that the Chiefs have had, or they've gone the other option and dropped it, and then the Chiefs take it back. The Chiefs are killing them. Says Anahira there. Crusaders were probably will probably come back. They need 3 converted tries to be back in this. Says John, I think Super Rugby needs to remove the Crusaders from the competition. Utter embarrassing from these guys. Says Hey No. I think there'd be a lot of people happy with that because then, of course, there'd be titles going to a lot more teams than we have seen over the last decade. But no, they are a bit of a staple of this competition, which is why, again, this is not the scoreline. Okay, oh no, I didn't mean your $2 pro pleb, but I can tell you right now, there would have been people who put a lot more than $2 on it. So you were probably smart in your decision to go low and hope for the best. Everyone has a plan until you get punched in the face. In this case, the Crusaders have been punched multiple times. Says Josh with the S. They didn't expect the Crusaders to get beaten down like that. Hopefully not for the Blues. Yeah, well, that's the thing. The Blues going into their game are a bigger underdog than the Crusaders are for this match. So, yeah, that's something. Should I unbook the pub booking that I have for the finals? Depends on who you were booking it. Is it in Christchurch that you booked the pub? And Scotland can still win. Says go always. Yeah, that game up against Argentina still gives me a little bit of trust issues when it comes to a big lead for certain sides. I got £10 on the Chiefs, lifting the trophy. And also Crusaders are doing New York Knicks. What did the New York Knicks do? They won the first couple, didn't they? I don't actually know what happened in the NBA in the end. I know that they were 2-0 up. Did they go on to win the whole thing? Okay, they lead 3-1. The next game is Sunday. When it's the Under-20 World Cup, taking place at the end of June. So we are getting very close to that starting up as well. Alongside that, there's going to be of course, internationals happening. And tomorrow's game could have a similar halftime score. Hopefully not. Hopefully it's a lot closer than we're seeing here. We're seeing there 23 missed tackles from the Crusaders throughout the first half. Believe it or not, the Chiefs have got a tackle completion of 80%. The Crusaders have 75%, so neither side have actually tackled that well. But the biggest bonus has been the fact that the Chiefs have been able to attack extremely well and find their way through gaps time and time again. So I think that is definitely something I want to continue in the second half. I will mention anyone who is new to the channel, by the way, hit that subscribe button. We are on the road to 100,000 subscribers. We are less than 20,000 away. And we are going to be here next week. We're also going to be here tomorrow for the game between the Hurricanes and the Blues, plus the All Blacks season, plus pretty much all of the international games that we can squeeze in. We've got the URC final next week. We do the Sevens as well. I still got to do my All Blacks squad. And I'll be honest, I had it about 95% confirmed. But now I'm a little bit worried because I was going to be releasing it early next week. But then there's going to be some players that maybe haven't had the best game here that some people will straight away discount from the All Black squad. But I think there's still a few Crusaders, definitely a couple bolters that might make their way in. Hutchinson is very much like Finn Hurley, scorching, but they need to stay fit. Says Nocturnal there. Have a great night, Kiwi Lad. Says know thyself. Same to you. The chat is going at 1,000 miles an hour at the moment. I am trying my best to read them, although I am skipping the slightly longer ones at the moment. Up the Chiefs says real. And also last time Chiefs won the comp, Rennie was coaching in New Zealand. He might be the lucky charm. And Coombs already signed offshore, unfortunately. Had him as a bolter before that, says Jeff. Yeah, there are a lot of guys that are going overseas. Someone like a Devon Flanders, for instance, he was right in the running for a lot of people. Seeing that run from Quintupai initially. Lalakai, Fekete and Quintupai combined have over 70 metres run. They've had 3 line breaks and 3 try assists. And Fekete was injured near the end of the first half. So I don't know whether or not he's going to continue in this game. We've already seen the injury of Hutchinson. So that brought on the replacement option of Leroy Carter, who has already scored as well. Game over, bro, says Deezy. Have there been a massive amount of comebacks? Or have there been any recent massive comebacks in playoff Super Rugby? Super Rugby playoff-wise, I can't think of too many. They mentioned about it earlier on that the Crusaders were, I want to say, 21-7 down earlier on in the season. And they did come back and win. But anything more than like about, I'd say, probably 20, 21 points is pretty tough to be able to come back from in a regular game, let alone the playoffs. But we're seeing there Lester Fainanuku. He is currently cutting off the tape on his legs. He does not look happy at all, whereas Will Jordan, he is injured. And he is not going to be back for this Crusaders season, mainly because it may be only the last 40 minutes remaining of said season. Now we have there, how often do you get thirsty for water? Every once in a while. I do try and remember to drink some water, but I do also forget. I can give a shout out to my little girl, Apokomo. She's also watching the game with me. Hopefully I said that correctly, but shout out to you. And sad to see the Crusaders losing by this much. Hopefully they come back in the second half, says Lee. It looks like it's going to be a cricket game, says Satyawan. Yeah, it doesn't look good, does it? This is playoffs, no shot. Crusaders come back, says Jeff. So yeah, currently the Crusaders are $51 underdogs in this match. Pokemon got to catch them all, says Just Better. Yeah, now they're looking at who are going to be the guys for the Chiefs to still be able to score more tries. That tells you the confidence level at the moment, as they should have with this type of margin. Do you still play cricket? I was only very much part-time for the second half in the second grade season, but probably will still play next year as well, I would say. And that try of Quinta Pires in the last game showed that the Chiefs had the Crusaders fully worked out. Now it's showing in the scoreline. Ratama outplaying Hotham, but he was riding behind the dominant pack, says Nutter Boy. And also, hello, Bakomo up the Chiefs, says Johnny Blaze there. And never underestimate the Crusaders, says Bennett. Yeah. I mean, I'm one who has said it time and time again, but at the same time, this is a little bit different. The Chiefs have been absolutely phenomenal in this contest, which I don't know. It's going to be a tricky one. You know, they had 2 weeks between England and New Zealand playing their test matches. Someone mentioned cricket scores, so I decided to have a look to see whether or not they were playing, but they're still about 5 days away. Mackenzie should be keen to score a try, says Steve-O. And yeah, currently sitting 6 from 6 in terms of the accuracy department for Damien Mackenzie, so he'll be more than happy the way that it's coming off the boot. He has a try assist in this game also. And Crusaders have been outstanding this season after a slow start. And also $10 on 51, be good. Hopeful thinking, says Former, and you think the Chiefs were playing Moana Pacifica. And they said the Chiefs going to beat the Crusaders on their bad days, says TCL. And also, look what happens when you don't box kick all game. They need to ban it, says Hartley. And is tight head prop related to Hemi here? I'm not too sure, to be honest. Sione Ahio, how old is he? Oh, that's not how you spell it. Sione Ahio, he sadly doesn't have enough of a Wikipedia page, by the looks of it, to give any sort of information about his family, other than the fact that he's played a bit of NPC. Does this mean the Blues win tomorrow? No, only because if we're looking at this, the Chiefs were favourites. So they seem to be the favourites in that case would be the Hurricanes to win their game too. Leicester should not be a 7, a hard reality check. Well, he's off the field now injured, unfortunately. So whether or not that is going to be his season over or whether just out for a few weeks, will be very interesting to see what comes of that for the All Blacks selection. And as the score showing the number of tackles this game, you'd think so with the numbers, but no, 47 points in our first half of the Super Rugby Pacific semi-final. We may get to see a 100-point game between these two sides. Is there a way you can put on the match so we can see it? Sadly, any match footage would get me taken straight off YouTube with a copyright strike. But we are able to do the play-by-play commentary, and also the highlights will be up on YouTube straight after on the Super Rugby YouTube channel. And great commentary, says Simon. Thank you very much. And how many possible ABs in these two teams do you think? I think that the normal number is about 25 between them. Although this season, I think that might be closer to 20 rather than the 25. Just because normally, of course, the Crusaders have got those guys who have gone overseas over the last season or so. But I would say looking through at just like a very quick glance, it's not going to be that quick, actually, now that I think about it. I'm going through with putting my fingers up. Maybe he makes it. I'd say, I don't know what that was, maybe about 18, maybe 20. That commentary bro says, Deezy, thank you very much. How much longer until kickoff again? I'd say we've still got another 3 minutes or so before the second half gets underway. Is this an indicator of Will Jordan's impact on the Crusaders? Not really, because they didn't have him last week and they beat the Blues quite comfortably. But I thought the same thing up until I saw the former Johnny McNichol. And I think that McNichol has been a very handy factor for this Crusaders side. He hasn't had the biggest game here, but he still had some good moments throughout there, McNichol. I don't think there's many Crusaders out there on the field that you'd say have had a phenomenal game as of yet. Nobody wants Moana back. They lack fundamentals. Worst franchise in Super Rugby history. Says just better. It'd be funny if the Blues win it all. Says TCL. And they would have to do it in Waikato if they were to get the job done. I will mention that the Chiefs have guaranteed themselves, if they win this game, at least the final. Now, if the Blues were able to cause the upset up against the Hurricanes, it would mean that the final would be at FMG Stadium. If the two favourites win, it means that the final would be in Wellington. I can't see the Crusaders coming back. Just get Johnny a try for my multi, says Steve-O. And also, well, the Blues have Barrett in his best position fullback because he's terrible first five. Says Hartley, and also the Harvili revival is over. Says Nocturnal. Yeah, well, even Harvili, like, I remember in that first half, he dropped the ball once. He may have missed a tackle. Has he had the ball other than that? Have the Crusaders had the ball other than that? That's probably the better question. But no, about 60% possession in favour of the Chiefs. Gardner is on the field. That is for the injury of Lester Fainanuku. And then Hutchinson, I want to say that's still the only change for the Chiefs with Leroy Carter out there. They were about to see, did Fekete go off in the end? Not just Leroy Carter coming onto the field. And we have it there. Moana would destroy the Crusaders tonight. So here's Jason. Good morning from Cape Town. Joined late. Is this really the halftime score? It is. Believe it or not, this is the way that we sit after the 40 minutes of rugby. 47 points on the board, and the Crusaders are down by 37. They kick off from left to right. A nice take from Summerpenny Finau. Actually struggled with his handling last week in the game up against the Reds, but it has come right well and truly here. Josh Jacob take the ball. Says Kiani's not actually on the field yet, but once he is out there, I'm sure he will on a bit of that possession. Nice take from Braden Enor. And ain't over till it's over, says Kevin. And we have got there, they don't need brain cells to figure out where final to be played. Says just better than you. Well, it depends, because of course if the Blues were to win, then it would be at FMG, wouldn't it? Rather than at Henry Stadium. That one's going to be goal line dropout here. Just a bit too much on that kick from the Crusaders. And it's a tackle on Quinn point blank, says Jeff. So that was his missed tackle. What else hasn't he done, Harvili, today? Other than score 37 points by himself. When you forward dominate, you'll win the game, says Hartley. Now kick downfield from Damian McKenzie. Back across to Taha Kimura, the big run back, the classic run from Leo Willie. It is something they have used multiple times in the season. Are they playing now? They certainly are. 41 minutes through this contest. Going for a box kick from inside of the Chiefs half. It's a big knock on from Fiaki. Goes back to Liam Coombs fabbling. Do you think Chiefs winning? Yeah, they should do. If they didn't win from here, it's just something that can't happen. For the sake of this Chiefs side, they have to win from here. They don't even have to win it by a huge margin. Still winning it by like 20 points. Decent enough. But they just can't allow the Crusaders to think that they've got a chance. Now going off to the left-hand side. And too early to crow can be a game of two halves, says Peter. And is this a halftime score? It certainly is. 2 minutes into the second half. Ball in the hands of the Crusaders. Looking to go away to the left-hand side. Johnny McNichol moving it on to Braden Enor. Tackled low by Carter. Moving up to 40 metres. Now Brewis. Chiefs aren't engaging in the breakdowns as much as they were in that first half. I don't think that's anything other than just waiting for the Crusaders to either make the mistake or go for the kick downfield. Cody Taylor pick and go. So around the halfway line, Hannah goes back across to the left. Christian Leo Willie moves it on to Taha Kimura. Quick hands from McNichol. Harvili cleans up. Oh, gets slammed down by Leroy Carter as well. Almost looked like a knock-on in the breakdown. Now Severeese pick and go. Can't get through in an awkward ankle twist from in the tackle with Jacobson. Our new half, Amateur Voice, has taken more strain than the Crusaders, says Willow Dance. It's certainly been a hectic... wasn't connected there, so Hotham. Let's get collided hard. Brewis, offload there on the inside. Great hands from Dom Gardner. Pops it up to Reese. It's the Crusaders trying to keep this ball alive. Now Reese is running backwards. Havili, cut out pass to Taha Kimura. Round halfway, he had the line break that led to the first half try for the Crusaders. Enor now got the line break that could lead to the second. He's going himself, looking to link up, and Hotham's knocked it on in the final moment. 5 metres out from the line. That could have been the best possible start to the half for the Crusaders, but Enor's pass was just a little bit off in terms of the radar. But Enor, he saw Hotham there. Ratama did too. And then just the pass a little bit too far behind. That looked good. Probably one of the better plays we've seen from the Crusaders in this contest. Park the Bus Boys says better. And also, that was said in the Saders, or what was said in the Saders room. You got, this boys stick to the plan. Definitely not stick to the plan. They would have said, right, we need to go back to what we've been doing the rest of the season, which isn't this. And only one running in support for the Crusaders, no option. Says Studs Race. Well, they did have the man on the right-hand side, but Leroy Carter was tracking him very nicely. So that's what actually caused Enor to have to step back infield to look for that next passing option. But yeah, that was down to the work of Carter that actually stopped the chance of going wide and just running it into the corner for the Crusaders side. Now, told to stay high for the scrum. McKenzie, again, doesn't quite get his distance that he'd like. Very aerial with that kick, and it means the Crusaders have got themselves the line out here, about 23 metres out. Noah Hotham dropping down the pecking order. Yeah, see, it's slightly annoying because, like I said, I've pretty much done my All Black side that I'd like to see, but some of the boys in that selection have not had a good game here whatsoever. So, but then you can't just base it off one game, I don't think, because, yeah, I think that there's also, like, pretty much most players, you have one off game, don't you? But rolling maul here for the Crusaders. They had the majority of the ball for the first 5 minutes of this half. Just about to break off was Taylor. Now Hoth themselves the dummy. 2-man tackled in by Jacobson as well as Leroy Carter. Oh, Carter, a little bit of afters there on David Havili. He was not happy with Havili's clean out on him. Now Severis pops it across to the right-hand side. Enor moves it on to Havili. Can't get through the tackle of McKenzie. Ball pops out the side. McKenzie not back on side. So it will be the penalty to the Crusaders. Harsh on Otham, 9 only as good as is 8 in front. Oh, okay, what's happening now? There's a little bit of push and shove. Oh, and the Chiefs are marched back 10 for their attitude towards the referee and the Crusaders. They cannot lose their heads here, ladies and gentlemen. When you're 37 points up, of course, it seems like it's impossible for the other team to get back into it. But you start doing anything ill-disciplined, and you can start looking at a very different scoreline. The Crusaders have done it before, scoring 3 times in a 10-minute period. Hotham pops it up to Leo Willie. Now Hotham back across to Taha Kimura. Delays his pass a little bit there, about 3 metres out from the line. Hotham back up. Gardner's dropped the ball. It was knocked on. They've given the try. Claiming a knock on, that's because there was. So I think this one's going to be no try here. Unless they're saying that Gardner's knocked the ball backwards in the collision. Just realised that Gardner has the same last name as the referee. No relation, though, so nothing like that. And Kieran Tomei Falau get another try. And everyone knows losing team always starts the fighting, says Peter. Yeah, although in that scenario, it seemed like it was the Chiefs, to be fair. That seemed like they didn't want to give the ball back because McNichol wanted to take it quickly. Okay, they're saying here they're going to show him a knock-on. Player loses possession of the ball. And Mighty Waikato says our winner there. Was there actually any Crusaders fans that haven't walked out after 30 minutes, says Jason? I think you just sit there and take your punishment. Because if you walk out, you're going to get more stick from the crowd than if you just sit there and just, put your head down Just sit there quietly and wait for the full-time whistle. But another mistake from the Crusaders on the attack. So it does now give the Chiefs the chance 5 metres out from their line with the scrum. Ref fixing up the penalty count, says Paul. Is that for the McKenzie one where he was clearly offside or another one there? That one was the knock-on. Knock-on count is definitely going through the roof for this Crusaders team. And Damien get another try. Preston, he makes his way on for Noah Hotham. So a pretty short day at the office for him. And Reves Rehana also out there now. That is to replace Taha Kimura. So 2 changes in the 9-10 channel. McNichol taken off for Macca Springer. That one's a surprise. I've been told to use it. On the way to the right-hand side for Ratama off to Quinn Tupaia. A good early shot put in from Reves Rehana for his first tackle of the day. McKenzie under pressure inside of his in-goal area. Kicks it downfield and does find touch. Another line out here for the Crusaders, 30 metres out. How much time is left? 48 minutes gone, so 32 minutes remaining in this contest. We have got there everyone saying that the Chiefs are going to lose, says Harihone. Yeah, that's almost impressive in its own right, isn't it? And how about putting up a clock, Hamish, so we know what minute they are playing, please? So it is down the bottom. I think it's just recently updated, but it's up to 50 minutes, but they're actually 48 and a half through. But it is just below the scoreboard. Going off to the right-hand side, Kyle Preston moves it on to Antonio Shalfoon. Oh, it was knocked down there, unfortunately. Almost able to regather it for, I want to say it was Tupa Vai, missed tackle on Havili by Vai afterwards. Now Preston moves across to the left-hand side. Braden Enor must have stepped through, tackled by Lord. We have there we are, the champions go the Chiefs. Says a winner, although, of course, still next week. The game that they have to get through as well, more than likely away from home. Oh, ball ripped by Josh Lord. Preston cross to Leo Willie. This first 10 minutes of the second half again has been all Crusaders with the ball, but they haven't been able to score yet. Offload attempted, not working out. Nice pickup from Biaki. Now Preston again. Across to Enor. Oh, Leroy Carter though onto the ball, gets rolled out of it. Let's go the Chiefs. Just the Crusaders. Also, Crusaders need just a little more than a point a minute. Yeah, they would pretty much have to do what the Chiefs did first half in the second half of play. Rehana isolated. Again, just that crucial one big clean out. That stops the Chiefs from getting the ball back. Cody Taylor cuts in. Lalakai Faketi, the man who makes the tackle alongside Tomo Falau. My Crusaders boys have gone quiet on our group chat, says Far North. Now Gardner, some good solid carries from him since making his way onto the field. Where do they play the last one? If the Chiefs, well, I'll say it right now, 30 minutes remaining. When the Chiefs win this game, if the Blues beat the Hurricanes, it will be at FMG. If the Hurricanes beat the Blues, it will be at Sky Stadium, or Henry Stadium as it's now called. Now Leo Willie, up to 13 phases here for the Crusaders. Pick and go. Taylor taken down early. Ball still on the side of the underdog. Well, the Hurricanes, says Shane. Uh-oh. There's a stoppage here for an injury. It looks like, Quinn Tupaia. He's holding his ankle. This looks serious. I think we've got another number 12 or another backline player who is out for the All Blacks July, ladies and gents. Tupaia in all sorts of discomfort. It was already heavily strapped too. Season rankings, most carries, most broken tackles, most turnovers won, second most tries scored heading into this contest. Oh, yeah, the ankle. It's underneath him awkwardly for the get-go and then still gets twisted even more. Show the screen. That would get us copyrighted. Get him taken down within about 5 seconds. Now, let's go the Hurricanes, says Just Blaze. And tape it up. He's already got it taped up. So the next best thing is probably to put it in a cast. You see there, Tanu Manga. Also, Graham Henry's there watching on for this game. The only one I'm not seeing there is Rennie. But that'll be due to, I think, the Japanese top league. Where they're battle with the Bombay next week. And they said the Crusaders are a different beast. Says Tanner too. And have you got a backup, says Kian? What, like a backup channel? Not really. There's one that's been sitting there for about 4 years. We have got there the Chiefs Known jokers as a fan, it's frustrating, says Hartley. We see Ollie Norris, he is making his way from the field. We see Mike Blair there either. Naitoa Koi, he makes his way on. Right, Tupaia looks like he's limping. All right. He's saying he wants to continue here, Tupaia. Now, this is one of those situations where you have to think a little bit harder. You're 37 points up. You have a final next week. You have an All Black season just around the corner. He's going to try and keep going here, ladies and gentlemen. So we're either going to see that it was a decent decision and he gets to play for 10 more minutes, or he's going to do himself a season ender and he won't be there in the final and he won't be there for the ABs. He's still limping badly, Tupaia. We have you there, you be, Tupaia. He's having an early off-season, says Jason. And if it's Chiefs, Canes and Wellington, would the Chiefs be favourites after this performance? Probably not. I think that they'd still end up as underdogs, even with this game the way that it's going. Rest them? Yeah, you don't need to risk them in this scenario. Penalty goes the way of the Chiefs at scrum time. And also, Luke Jacobson, get a try, please, says Kian. Oh, poor Bauer. He's just made his way onto the field. The scrum was on the 22. George Bauer has got his face full of white face paint. So does, I believe that would have been the replacement 18. Oh, no, I think they've actually still got Sione Ahio on. Yeah, George Bauer now, it looks like someone's thrown like a flower bomb at him. And so does Sione Ahio. So, unfortunately, the lines, they must have been relatively freshly painted. Can they still do a comeback? No. I don't think so. And now, Simasoni Taukiaho. The Chiefs are yet to score any points in the second half. But they haven't had a lot of the ball either. McKenzie again going aerial. I can show the game any sort of match footage, which get us taken off YouTube with a copyright strike and banned for 3 months, unfortunately. But the highlights will be up on the Super Rugby YouTube channel, hopefully straight after the game. So I definitely recommend checking those out. I would have loved to see a free-to-air option here in New Zealand as well, whether that's on Prime or something along those lines. Kyle Preston, it seems like box kick is the way to go again. Got a lot of height on it. Coming down for it. A knock on there from Kieran Tomai Falau. The Crusaders will have themselves the scrum. Get to buy off, man. We need him for the All Blacks. Says Johnny Blazer. And the Chiefs need him next week as well. Oh. Okay, there is now going to be a substitution. That is for Sione Ahio. I think Tupai's just hoping that if he keeps on walking, it's going to get a little bit better. McNichol still on, bro. No, he was taken off for Macca Springer, which was a little bit of a surprise this early on. Tupai running gingerly. Yeah. But it seems like he wants to stick it out for that little bit longer. The next best halfback after Roygaard is Kyle Preston, says Hartley. They've been uploading YouTube 10 minutes after the game. First half already up. Says just better than you. And also it's not on Prime, which is a shame because they normally do at least one game around, don't they? So maybe they're doing the game tomorrow. Perhaps could be the one, but yeah, it's the playoffs. Like, at the end of the day, I think that this is a reasonable statement, right? Anyone who doesn't have Sky Sport, I'd say 99.9% of people aren't going to buy Sky Sport just to watch the playoffs. So you might as well have them watching the game. Because, like, yes, you might stop yourself from getting, I don't know, 100 extra Sky subscriptions. I don't know the numbers, of course, but like just get people watching the game so that when you do have, you know, the international season, people go, I enjoyed Super Rugby's playoffs. I'm going to now get that subscription for July. You got to do it as a long-term thing rather than just a short, try and charge people $40 for a couple games of rugby. Nice run there from Macca Springer. Oh. Looked like Naitoa Koi thought he had a chance of being able to steal that ball. The second half has been a lot slower than the first, I will mention. That one, almost a turnover opportunity for Leroy Carter. It's crushed back into the breakdown. Now Gardner gets away to Taylor Cahill. Pick and go again from Jared, profiting off the feet for Parker. They're looking to get that skill again. That's a poor kick. McKenzie all the time in the world inside of the 22. He will be able to just take the mark. And Sky Sporters rip-off. Says aging trucker. Yeah, because I think last year they did like a playoffs pass or something, didn't they? Or maybe it was the semi-finals and the final and you got to pay a certain amount. Or a weekend pass for the final maybe is what they did last year. Okay, Tupaia now is coming off the field. This is the best thing that the Chiefs have done today. And they've scored 6 tries. You cannot afford to lose this player heading into next week as well as that All Blacks campaign. Yeah, bro, they should put it on free view for Freeman. Says FDU or breaking the line there for Severies. Passes off to N or 2 men on the outside. Macca Springer trying to go through Liam Coombs Fabling. That was a weird tactic from Springer in the way that he was trying to get the carry going. He almost became, I don't even know what to describe it as. That's stolen by Profit though. But he shelled up. He kind of squeezed into a ball Macca Springer rather than trying to get the fin going. It's kicked downfield from McKenzie, beautifully controlled by Dom Gardner. The Crusaders have lost about 60 metres there. We have it there, don't need so a subscription with good commentary from the Kiwi lad, says Henry King. And we are going to be here tomorrow as well for the Hurricanes versus Blues, as well as that matchup next week in the final, which is about, once again, around that 99.9% likely to involve the side out of FMG Stadium. Nice take from Coombs Fabling round the halfway line. Now off to Carter. I said no foul play. Gunn, is he all right? Yeah, he's all good. I thought he was going to be staying down there. Reves Rehana hanging on to that one. Now back down to the half of the Chiefs. McKenzie 40 metres out for the line. Liam Coombs Fabling goes across there. Nice step from Josh Jacob. Recently made his way onto the field for Quinn Tupaia. And we have got the up the wires, says Jared. Yeah, they'll be back in action, won't they? They had a bye last week, the Warriors. Can't commentate, give it up, says Robert. You could also just leave, couldn't you? That's probably easier, and it will save your eardrums a whole heap of stress. Now, nice take from Reese. Around that halfway line, looking for the counter-ruck was for Kitty. And almost got it too, but it's still somehow on. In fact, they do get it. The penalty goes the way of the Chiefs in the end. I thought they may have tried to ping for Kitty for banning off his feet there. But, again, they've just been more relentless in the breakdown at the moment. This Chiefs side time at the moment, we are 57 minutes through in this contest. 23 remaining. And Eki, the boys, says Mark. And the trophy coming back to Waikato. Or, sorry, to Hamilton, says Cyrus. The penalty count has evened out a little bit more too in just the second half. We actually had 23 minutes where there wasn't a single penalty awarded to either side. I think that's just because tackles didn't exist during that period, so no one was getting pinged for anything. And go to chase, says Gus. Penalties conceded at the moment. 5 from the Crusaders, 3 from the Chiefs. And Chiefs won in the first half, just coasting at this point. Yeah, they know that they've won this game. So now, if they can get through the next 22 minutes injury-free, that's like the ideal scenario for them here. Like, yes, scoring more points would be great. That's another knock-on from the Crusaders. Picked up by Cortez Ratama off to Profit. Now Ratama again, 22 metres out from the line. That's a stolen ball for Macca Springer. A couple good moments since making his way off of the bench. Kyle Preston back across to Hannah. Now Reves Rehana moves it on to Leo Willie. Quite look towards that outside option. And I believe it's now turned into a penalty advantage. Yes, it has. Gardner awards it. And Simon Parker get the other try. And also they haven't won anything. Don't put the mockers on. If they lose with 21 minutes remaining in this game while being up by 37 now, I will shave my head bald. I could probably do something more severe than that too, because 21 minutes left. Just, like, even if they concede 3 tries, all converted, they're still up by 16. Which would then mean that the Crusaders would still need another 3 tries on top of it. The Crusaders need 6 tries in 20 minutes at this point in time. And they have got the position, to be fair to them. 22 metres out from the line. Taylor Cahill. Another good tackle from Parker. Now offload back there. Fee now. He goes for the grubber in behind. It does go out on the full. Any chance of any more point? I think the Crusaders still seem determined. You'll be keeping your hair, bro, says Teasy. And I'll do that, says Jerome Mansell. And Luke Jacobson get the other try. Yeah, if they start scoring tries flat out here, I'll be a little bit nervous. That almost looked like it bounced in the field of play. It might have been a bit hard on Summer Penny Finau there. I think you hear a save. Hamish says Willow Nance now rolling more chance here for the Crusaders. It's dragged down illegally by the Chiefs, so the penalty advantage now in favour of the away team. David Harvey passes it across to Chafiaki. They're going very sideways at the moment, although that's a nice grubber of Macca Springer in a foot race with Tomo Falau, who just manages to win it. How's the ref been tonight? I think they've done all right. I think I've kind of drowned out the referees a little bit now, though. It sounds weird to say, but I've got to the point how the way I look at refereeing is similar to players having handling errors. How it's just a part of the game. And, Macca Springer may have hurt his shoulder there. A little bit of push and shove there between Preston and Leroy Carter too. Carter's been involved in every push and shove that has happened throughout this contest. So Blackadder goes over, just has a bit of a chat to him. They're getting tickled by the mighty Waikato Mulus. Okay, they've called it as off Kieran Tomo Falau. It may have actually been a knock-on from Springer first, but it is going to be a 5-metre scrum here for the Crusaders. Andrew, that not common to the Crusaders, the most numbers. But not today, says Cyrus. And hate this head patting stuff. Yeah, I think that was Finau that time doing it to Ethan Blackadder. And because the Crusaders have grubby players. So here's Mark. I think that was just, Carter and Preston having a conversation. Carter also does have a temper. We learnt that in the 7th, so he definitely doesn't hold back. At times, there's a reason that the nickname is Boomfar, not just because he runs over the top of people. That's a split second between him being in control of his actions and then not so much. Imagine losing 4 in a row thinking you'll play top of the table team away and have a chance. Says just better. Now going away to the right-hand side here. Crusaders close to the Chiefs line. Harvey, he's over the line. That is the try for the Crusaders. Getting it down in the end. It's their first of 6 that they need if they do want to go on and win this game. We have you there. Chiefs need empty the bench. We've won it. Over now, time to drink a Powerade protein drink. Have an ice bath, massage, relax. And ready for next week. We see it there. David Hartville, he's found a way. Score 1. It's now his 5th of the season too. It's a decent season overall. Here they come, says John. Surely not. 17 minutes is a long time, but that would get you maybe 5. No, sorry, not 5 tries. That would get you like 3 or so if you're scoring aggressively. Let's go. The Chiefs, says just me. Right. Seems like more changes. Or is it? Okay, they're just waiting for the Chiefs to get back to the halfway line. Always love the commentary here. Listening from South Africa, awesome vibes, says Andrew. Yeah, we've got plenty more coming up. Of course, the game next tomorrow night is going to be Hurricanes versus Blues. Alongside that, we've also got... it's a hard landing for the Crusaders, so another penalty. Okay. Effing going for the ball, says Liam Coons Fabling. Okay, they're going time off here, and this is actually getting TMO'd here too. And I mentioned about injuries. The other thing that you don't want as a Chiefs player is a suspension heading into the final next week. Wackham DMAC, you need to prove yourself. You have to lock in. It's going to be a yellow card here too for Liam Coombs Fabling. So, Does mean that the Chiefs are down to 14 men for the next 10 minutes. Did they miss the conversion? They did get it over straight down the middle of the poles. And that one hasn't found touch. They had a little bit of an advantage there. All charge down kick, though. Preston gets after it. Now, where's it ended up? It's actually gone backwards back to Preston. Oh, no, never mind. Going to be a knock-on. Another scrum feed for the Chiefs. Rugby game is well over. Start talking about petrol prices, says Jason. My matey barbershop incoming, says John. They're just making too many mistakes still, even though, of course, like, they've had chances in the second half, but the mistakes that have been made just out from the Chiefs line has heavily cost them. 16 minutes away from a final here for the Chiefs. I'm happy with that card, says Nutter Boy. About 20 metres out from the line now. Their own line, that is, for the Chiefs. So they'll more than likely look to either win the scrum penalty or just kick this one downfield. Is it 15 minutes? Yes. 15 minutes remaining. Big scrum penalty advantage in favour of the Chiefs again now in the middle of the field. Leroy Carter stepping through. Absolutely everyone looking to go to the right-hand side. Dragged down by Gardner around the halfway line. See, they could have easily taken that penalty advantage and just called for the penalty there, the Chiefs, but they decided, you know what, we're going to run it 30 metres up the field. Look to really put the opposition on the back foot. Coy. Tackled by Gardner. How many minutes for that yellow card? Still another 8 minutes 20 remaining at the moment for Liam Coons-Fabling. So he'll get to return with about 7 minutes on the clock. Naito Coy. Well, still on that side. Taylor looking for any sort of opportunity to get it back. Now Ratama again with the box kick. Currently 30 points separating these two teams. Drop ball from Macca Springer. His shoulders struggling here. Now it's talked about when he tried to ground that ball out. It looked like he had hurt it. He's just gone up for the high ball and it just didn't seem like he had it in him. He is certainly hurting at the moment, but he is one of the changes that they actually made already early on in the contest. I won't be surprised if the Chiefs go scoreless in the second half, says Eugene. Yeah, although the situation they're in is they don't really need to score tries. I know that it's, like someone mentioned about it earlier on, parking the bus. But, like, if you can avoid getting injured and, you know, avoid those suspensions, get to test out your defense a little bit too. Like, yeah, I don't think this game is about really proving more of a statement than they've already made, the Chiefs. They'll be happy enough getting the win. Big scrum again, knock on from Cortez Ratama. It does now mean that the Crusaders will have themselves the scrum. We need to score because we need all the multis to hit, says FTU. Currently 30 points separating these two teams. I'll tell you right now, at halftime, people were expecting a much higher second half. It is technically the lowest scoring game that we have had of playoff rugby and Super Rugby at this point, which is crazy to think that the score was 42-5 at halftime. But still another 13 minutes. Technically, in the way that the early stages of this game went, that could be 3 or 4 tries. And if we're talking about buses, the Crusaders can get on theirs and go home, says Pro Pleb. Now the big scrum again from the Chiefs against the feet. It's got to be their penalty. They marched the Crusaders back about 15 metres. But meanwhile, Reves Rayan has got a line break. He goes for the kick in behind. McKenzie trying to win the foot race. Preston with the big fly boot and misses the ball. And Carter cleans it up. Havili unable to get the steal in the breakdown, but that was almost another opportunity for a half by full field try. 1K viewers, this might be the biggest stream of the Super Rugby season. I think it is by a good few hundred at least. So yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting to see what happens tomorrow. Oh, quick throw there for the Crusaders. Fiaki short ball. The Reves Rehana. That was a knock on from Leo Willie, also offside from Leo Willie. He's offloaded to Kyle Preston. They would have scored, but they have to go back for about the 5 infringements, and the penalty goes the way of the Chiefs. Sometimes D-Mac just cleans up, eh? Sometimes it's not enough for me, to be honest, says Cyrus. And Josiah punching the air at home right now. Says, Johnny, do you think the NPC will be worth watching without the All Blacks? I'd say so. If you're an NPC follower and you like the players who are potentially going into Super Rugby as well as the potential for future All Blacks, definitely worth a bit of a watch. Let's go the Hurricane, says Dara. Plus, we've got to remember, most years we don't have the All Blacks in the NPC anyway, other than like 1 or 2 rounds. Is bro a YMO? Says former. I am, well, kind of. Born in Christchurch, though, but only lived there for a very short amount of time. Rest of the time in YMO. Can you please do the hiccups, please, and thank you? Is it possible to give yourself the hiccups? I don't know if that's very easy to do. If I had the hiccups, they'd stick around for a long time. But, yeah, I don't know how do you give yourself hiccups. We over there, D-Mac should make it... I reckon hell, D-Mac and Love, Bowden Barrett gone. Says Cyrus. Brody McAllister, another line-out throw here for the Chiefs. 40 metres out from their own line. Oh, one too many in the Crusaders. Oh, out there on the field for the Crusaders. They had 16 out there. Maybe they should have just left them all out there and see how they go. For the final moment, chuck some water really fast and you will have the hiccups, says Tony. Mackenzie end of the night, or in the night off, cuss, says FTU. Right, Macca Springer's coming off, which makes sense seeing as he did have a dodgy shoulder just before. Rolling more here again for the Chiefs with Brody McAllister controlling it at the back. Jamie Hanna gets out of there. Still making a couple metres, although now the Crusaders starting to drive them backwards. And I think straight through the middle was Taylor Cahill, who gets onto the ball and manages to get that all-important steal. Well, the Crusaders there again. I like how does the Blues get another chance? The Crusaders don't. It doesn't matter. The Canes sit on the Blues by the 40th minute. And also we over there, how much more minutes? At the moment, still another 10 minutes remaining in this contest. How many tries are there? There was 6 from the Chiefs and then 2 from the Crusaders. Drink plenty of Coke really fast and you will have the hiccups, says Tony. 3 minutes 30 remaining of Liam Coombs Fabling's yellow card for the Chiefs do get their full 15 back out there on the field. And predicted Canes to win when they signed Dearns. Yeah, he's been phenomenal throughout the season, Warner Dearns. Been up there with the best locks, if not the best lock of the competition. Away to the left-hand side, Crusaders still trying to fight for one last try here if they can. Braden Enor, he's had a lot of running metres today, and he's had about 20 more there for being tackled by Boshier on the 22. I see there that Xavier Rowe has made his way onto the field for Leroy Carter here, ladies and gentlemen. Is that correct, or is it Ratima that he's come on for? Did they press the wrong button? I'm just looking around trying to find... No, Ratima's still out there. I wonder whether or not that's because of Carter coming back from injury recently, whether or not they've decided to take him off for the final 10, just to give him a bit more of a spell near the end of this contest, and cash out my $2 for 2 cents. Probably worth it, to be fair, I would say. You're probably not going to get much more than that with the way that it does currently sit. Your Crusaders are sort of being dirty, but nah, can't deny the GOAT, DC, says Cyrus. Right, so Ratima's onto the wing, and Carter is off the field. Currently. It seems that way anyway. Where's little Will? No wonder a bit of a weak set aside, inevitable performance from the Chiefs. I don't know if I'd call this Crusaders side weak. It's pretty much the same team that beat the Blues by the margin that they did last week. But the Chiefs have just been so much better. There's another penalty advantage. Their scrum has been pretty dominant as well. 8 minutes remaining on the clock. And again, they can just keep on ticking down this time. Yet to score a singular point in the second half here for the Chiefs. The work that they did early on, they didn't have to. The Crusaders are the team that have had to try and chase this game, and they have only managed to muster 1 try by David Harvilli. Oh, doesn't find touch there with the kick, though, from Damien McKenzie. Josiah from last week, probably in the dark room crying now, says Vic Mars. I want to put Leroy Carter for South Africa or the Nations Championship, says Kiwi Rob. We lose final again. I'm crashing out again, says just better. Well, yeah, they've put themselves in a position here, the Chiefs, that has the most momentum they have had going into a final, I believe, in quite some time. Whananuku experiment over. We didn't really get to see it that much because he got injured early in this game. So the only reason it would be over, I think, is if he ends up out for the season. Now, Ratama picks the ball up again there for the Chiefs. Ball back across McAllister. Goes to Profit, moves it on to Taukiaho. Oh no, sorry, not Taukiaho. That was Samapeni Finau. In fact, getting Samasoni and Samapeni mixed up. That one's going to be kicked in behind. Another penalty awarded to the Chiefs. And this one is a kickable free. It's been a while. I'm back here, Kiwi Lad says, Karoy, welcome back. You've got that Warriors picture, so I'm sure you are happy enough with how they're going throughout this season at the moment. How's it, Hamish? NZRU need to give you a corporate box to broadcast from. To be fair, you contribute a lot to the game that lines their pockets. Says Chill. Yeah, I don't know what I'd do with a corporate box, though, to be fair. I just need like a little corner hidden away. Stick me in a wardrobe somewhere. I can do it from there. Lester, the fake flanker, couldn't handle physicality. Says, I know, well, injury will do that to you, won't it? Now, Damien McKenzie. They've decided to kick for the corner here. I thought that maybe they would have gone for the 3 just to use up a bit more of the time. Do you think there will be a try in the last few minutes? I think so. I haven't decided who's going to get it, though. The Chiefs probably a very good chance of scoring now, though. You angry for me, says Mohadeen. What would I need to be angry for you about, Mohadeen? Oh, no, that yellow card has now expired, so they're back to 15. Chiefs going for the jugular, didn't take the 3. Yeah, it's a weird irony, isn't it, in a way? Because now they're going for the jugular with 6 minutes remaining in the half after not trying to score for the whole rest of the half. Is Stefano Nuku injured? Yeah, it looked like knee injury on his left side. Nothing confirmed yet in terms of how substantial it is, but he got taken off after trying to walk it out for a little while. Now, ball's back, Naitoa Koi. That one's going to be, I think, another penalty advantage in favour of the Chiefs. Yes, it is. Now, Xavier Rowe looking off to the left-hand side. McKenzie going for the big cross kick. Caught out wide there. Oh, no, it's gone dead. Didn't quite get it off the side of the boot like he would have liked. Again, going back for the penalty. Is Luke Jacobson okay? He was down for a little while. But from what I saw, it seems like he's back up on his feet and looking all right. And I get a converted try, mate. Okay, win anyway. See his slow fingers. And the overs was 56.5. What are they on at the moment? 54. Oh, so right on the verge of it then. And also Waikato nice though. Way better than the Spates. The lineout's 112 from the Crusaders today. 7 from the Chiefs. The second half is criminal. I'll be honest. First half was way up here. Second half's been a technicality. Was it a bad injury? It didn't look that flash at the time, but yeah, he was taking all his strapping off around half-time. Now rolling more here for the Chiefs. Brodie McAllister just short again, but another penalty advantage against the Crusaders. They can't avoid it at the moment, and they have to be very careful not to end up with a yellow card. They've managed to get the steal. Gardner, you would think, would have to think about a whistle blowing a bit of a warning here. And Kieran Tomoe Falau get the other try. Or get another try. And Saders need Richie Mwonga. Thanks for coming to the FMG, guys. And D-Mac, the star tonight. J-Mac, the star tomorrow. Says, it was there from Aging Trucker. Who's J-Mac? Is that Geordie Barrett? Is that who J-Mac would be? We have there, put them to bed. And 2 more points, please, says Gogo. I assume you also took the over-under. And we have there, Blue's going to win tomorrow. There's Hano. 4 minutes remain on the clock here. We've had 7 points in the second half. Are you gold? When you're all, we've got things, mate. You can keep your hair, says Slowfinger. Yeah. I thought it was pretty safe, other than when they scored not too long after it. Now Xavier Rowe, another penalty advantage. Right, someone's going to the bin for the Crusaders in the very near future. McKenzie, oh, he runs straight at Blackadder and Leo Willie. Decided that the brick wall was the best option to run into. in that scenario, although we've seen the brick wall with many holes in it throughout this contest, none as of yet in the second half. Samapeni now pops it up to Parker. Now Rowe moves it on again. Jacob decides to go for the contact himself. Last time I joined this channel, there was a guy called Marco Vonopolopia. That is now Johnny Blaze. He is still here. He has been here for the last about 5 years or so. Now, looking for the steal in the breakdown. Cody Taylor, he was almost on it, but Rowe manages to get in there enough and another knock on. That was probably the last chance for the Chiefs, maybe, depending on what happens off the scrum. Oh, no, they're actually going to go back for an initial penalty. Playing under advantage. Referee has found the mark again. And how far from the line? 5 metres out now. They have just gone back across the field to where the initial scrum penalty infringement was, about 12 metres in from the sideline. But 42-12. It's a scoreline and a half that I don't think many people saw coming. Like I said, even the Chiefs faithful were hopeful for somewhere around 10 to 15 in their favour. Time left at the moment, we are 78 minutes through. I realise the scoreboard's been sleeping in the second half, although to be fair, it hasn't had a lot of updating to do as well. We have just seen the one try from the Crusaders from David Havili. The last 5 penalties are all against the Crusaders since the 75th minute. Now will be the scrum. 11 penalties against the Crusaders now. And balls available at the back of the scrum. And again, another advantage. Simon Parker just short of the line. Crusaders told to get back on side. And again, they've given away that penalty advantage that just pretty much gives the Chiefs a bit of free rein to try and find a way of scoring. There will be a yellow in the near future. Xavier Rowe goes over for the first Chiefs try of the second 40. And that will now almost close out this game with the amount of time left on the clock, just over a minute. And we have it there, which is great, because it would be great to see either team get the final. We have got the donation from David as well. Thank you very much, David. Greatly appreciated for that one. Justin Marshall has officially fallen to his knees in the commentary booth, says Vic. And your boy says Karoy and there too. But they have managed to get there first. So that is more than likely going to make the score for the second half 7-7. I think effort hit over. Says it's me. Now Mackenzie, he is currently sitting 6 from 6. But he hasn't taken a kick for about 40 minutes here. In fact, longer than that, probably almost closer to an hour since Mackenzie's last kick, and he has got that one straight down the middle as well. I've just said there, the most points that the Chiefs have ever scored up against the Crusaders, and by far their biggest margin. So they have made history. Tell you what, there's a lot of sides making a little bit of history for themselves throughout the last few weeks. That one's going to be slapped back by the Crusaders. Letiu manages to get it on. But now into the last moments of this game. Have they got one more in them? The Crusaders to limit the damage to just a 30-point loss. Now Braden Enor tackled by Naitoa Koi. I can give my mum Belinda a shout out. It's her birthday today. Shout out to you, Belinda. Hopefully you're not a Crusaders fan, because or else they've given you a terrible birthday present. Which is a 37-point loss, but rough. In that regard, Preston goes back to Reves Rehana. Now Havili calls for Enor to go on the inside. It's opened up a gap on the outside. Kieran Tomai Falau just dives into touch. And that will be the end of the game, ladies and gentlemen. The semi-final has completed. And 49-12, the end score of this contest. This is pretty much about as unpredictable of a scoreline as we could have seen here. Again, the Chiefs fans who were confident, they went, maybe we win by 15 if we're doing very well. But by 37, this is a statement win. And now they get to wait and get to see exactly who they play next week in the final. It is going to be Blues versus Hurricanes tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. Anyone who is new, of course, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We are on the road to the 100,000. We're getting closer to 81,000 as we speak. So yeah, if you haven't already, be sure to hit that button. But Crusader season, it is now over, which does mean there will be a new champion in Super Rugby Pacific for this year. What's the score? The end score was 49-12 in favour of the Chiefs. It's my friend's mum's birthday as well. Her name is Gail. Says Puck. Oh, so wait, so your friend, they're both born on the same day. That's a small world, isn't it? I actually thought Crusaders will win. Peking, glad I was wrong. Says Swap a Crate. And I think 37 points is the Crusaders' biggest ever defeat. It definitely would be in playoff rugby. But it is the biggest margin that the Chiefs have ever beaten the Crusaders by. It's also the most points with 49 that the Chiefs have ever scored up against the Crusaders. So yeah, a really big statement. And of course for Damian McKenzie, it is his 150th game. It is his 100th victory for the Chiefs. And it's his 50th home game victory. So for Damian McKenzie, this is going to be a game that he remembers for quite some time. But he also has to then switch on for next week. 7 from 7 off the kicking tee. A couple try assists early on. The end score of this one, 49-12 in favour of the Chiefs. Who's your man of the match? I think that McKenzie has to be up there for the way that he actually controlled this game. I thought that Parker had a pretty solid showing in the number 8 jersey. We saw Tomoe Falau have some great moments. Faketi was everywhere. So I think one of those guys probably. G'day, you doing any Super Rugby Alpaki? Probably not, I don't think. Are we over there? Yeah, that's how we know each other. Our mum's been in the hospital, says Puck. And I say, D-Mac, bro, you legend, says the real Ando. Wait, your mum's been in the hospital. But that would be that your birthdays are the same, not your mum's, right? Maybe. Well, good, Hamish. Says Peter, and thank you, says William. It actually all adds up. The Chiefs have 11 All Blacks, especially in the forwards. And also we've got there, let's go the Blues woman tomorrow. And what a demolishing, says Kevin. But yeah, nonetheless, I do thank you all very much for tuning in. We are going to be back for the game tomorrow night. It is taking place between the Hurricanes and the Blues in Wellington. We will be starting that one at probably 6:45 p.m. our time too. So be sure to keep an eye out for that. But thank you all for watching. And I will see you all for the next one.